is this conversation going to help one person? Sweet. There you go.
Yeah. I mean, that's huge because hopefully it will. It,
Yeah, but
but again, that's like your visions where it's lost sometimes on what success is, you know what I mean? And it's not always about the girls, the cars, the bank accounts. It's, what can you do with the success you've had? What is your gift to people? What is your gift to the ones you love? What are you able to do for the people you care about? Like, can you put yourself in a position to make an impact on someone's life? And that's always been my thing as a wrestler. It's funny. Like I remember being asked this when I laced up my broke ass Asics that were actually given to me when I first started wrestling because I didn't have money to buy my own. Um, I said I wanted to be an inspiration. I want to inspire someone, not to be a wrestler. I just want to inspire them to just chase what they want to chase.
Jason LaChance, Knocking Doors Down host here. I'm excited to share this episode with my friend JR Kratos. More on JR here in just a minute, but I want to talk to you first, if I could. We got a lot of things going on in this world that might seem a little bit overwhelming, and it's hard sometimes to get our footing. But I know when I struggle, I have to return to a place of looking inward for peace. And that's why you'll hear me say on here, no outside solutions to inside problems. Because no matter what is going on, if I can do the work to regulate who I am on the inside and try to keep my cool, my head, my composure, maintain my values throughout all the chaos that's going on, I find that I'm pretty okay. So if you're struggling at times, sometimes all you need to do is take a couple deep breaths and calm your nervous system down and then move forward rationally. And of course, if you're struggling, don't hesitate to reach out and ask someone for help. All right, more about my guest, JR Kratos, currently with the NWA, National Wrestling Alliance, owned by the Smashing Pumpkins' Billy Corgan. JR and I used to work together in professional wrestling. I wasn't in the ring. I was doing commentary when we were a part of Lucha Extreme Wrestling. And JR, I mean, he's held the United States Tag Team Championships, the NWA World Tag Team Championships, wrestled in New Japan, has been all over the globe. And one thing I love about JR, well, it's multiple things, but one of them, he's a family man. He loves his wife and his children deeply and dearly. And I wanted to share that with you because him and I really get into prosperity and how despite all the naysayers, people told him that he could never do certain things, that he should quit. He just kept going. So I hope with this conversation, you take away unbreakable perseverance is what gets you through all the situations and helps you get to where you want to be in life. So please hit that subscribe button, leave a thumb up, leave a comment in the video. JR will be checking them out. Please share with other people. All those things that all of us on YouTube ask you to do. JR Kratos, thanks for welcoming me to your lovely home, my brother.
Thank you, bro. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, been too long.
Way too long, man. It's good to see you, bro. Thank you.
You too. And prospering. And I know part of prosperity is gratitude. So being that I start my day with gratitude, 3 things you're grateful for today.
Waking up is one.
It's still here.
Yeah. Waking up is definitely one, man. Family and just health. I mean, that's probably right off the top of my head.
Yeah.
It's just health and family and still being here, man, still rocking, still being able to do what I love. That's always what I'm grateful for. Just being able to do it, have the capabilities of doing it. I'm very, very grateful for that. Cause man, as you know, life could throw a curveball at any time, man, and all this can just be taken away. So that is one thing that I'm very, very grateful for is just to be able to do the things that I love to do. So
yeah. Well, and it's not like can, but life will throw that curveball. Like we were on my way here to your house, so I had some car issues where I had a piece of my car get literally ripped off of the car. But I thought about it, like, okay, I had to go into a resourceful mode. I happen to have a flathead screwdriver, pop this thing off, put it in the back seat, whatever, get down the road. And I thought about it. Old me would have went, JR, the whole world just collapsed. I got to go home. And that going home is going to my poor coping mechanisms of pounding some booze, you know, and
Yep.
I've appreciated that about our friendship. We've known each other about a decade, and the more that, you know, as we watch people on social media, but you really talk about that perseverance because, you know, where you're at now, it wasn't an easy path. Hell, childhood wasn't an easy path.
No, not at all. But that's just one of my things that I've always stayed true to, man. Is I even got a little bend, you know, it's just you just stay humble and you hustle hard. And just always just be a good person, man, you know, in the world. I wouldn't say just in our business or my, you know, just wrestling, but just overall, just carrying yourself professionally and just doing the right things, man. Never losing you and who you are, and stay true to you through the entire process, man. It doesn't matter if it takes you longer to get there. Doesn't matter, you know, whatever the journey is. As long as you stay true to who you are, it's all going to be worth it at the end because you did it your way. You know what I mean? You stay true to who you are. You didn't do anything you weren't supposed to do. You know, that can jeopardize what you're trying to build, man. Jeopardize your name, you know.
Do you find that knowing who you are, you know, in recovery, we talk a lot about authenticity often, and I don't think people know what the that means for the most part.
True.
Did Well, I mean, I've always known you. You've always been a wonderful, jovial person, and we've had the pleasure of doing things other than working together. Although if I can find the clip, I'll put it in here where I got worked into a match with you and Jeff Cobb. Classic. But you always seem to have that really good head about you. I mean, where did that come from? Was there ever times where that was really tested throughout childhood, teenage years, or anything else? Or were you pretty good and focused guy?
No. I would probably have to say it's just there's not something that I could just in my mind right now go to that was the point. It's just if I had to overlook everything, it was just the experiences I've had as a kid growing up until a young adolescent and realizing that you can't be a product of your circumstances and just where you're at. You know, I've always had big dreams ever since I was a kid, man. And it was just crazy, big, huge. I remember we would go on family trips when my dad would take us to family trips and I would just be sitting in the back, you know, my brothers and sisters were sitting there and I'm looking at a mountain. It's just, how odd is that? Like I'm looking at a mountain and I'd be like, stop, let me run up this mountain real quick. I can do it in 20 minutes. My dad would just look at me and my sister and my brother would be like, dude, you're crazy. You know, or we would go to the ocean. These are one of the things I would remember because we lived in Pacifica at the time, California. And the kids, we would all go to the ocean and the kids would be playing in the sand and, you know, crawling up, getting those little crab things. And I would just be sitting on the rock looking out into the ocean. And I remember my brother or, you know, my sister would come up and be like, dude, what are you doing? And I'm like, I'm going to be bigger than the ocean one day. Huh. And they'd be like, are you hot? Like, no, but
speaking somebody's medicine cabinet.
Yeah. Doing dad stuff again. No. But it's just experiences, man. And then once you realize, you know, what you want to do and you do those things and you do them the right way, I can say, you know, probably just the experiences and learning how to cope. It was hard because, you know, you have the childhood you have, and I wouldn't change anything. But what was difficult was being able to learn how to cope on your own.
Yeah.
You know, not, you know, having that, you know, that idol or that person that can tell you, you know, it's okay. You know what I mean? You're doing things right. You know, it's okay to, you know, cry. It's okay to do this. And, you know, but when you start, I guess when life really starts hitting you and you don't have those outlets, you start dipping into other things, you know, and, you know, it's unfortunate, man, but, you know, it is what it is. And, you know, it's just life experiences.
Yeah. Well, and then not an insult on your folks or mine, just the reality of it because their parents before them too. Our parents were a little emotionally immature that generation, and you know, I mean, goodness, but if you know, and again, I'm not knocking on the generations before us because man, like I couldn't imagine dealing World War One, the Great Depression, then World War Two to the Vietnam War, Korean War, and all these things greatly impacted culture and society. But it very much was, especially for us, kids of the late 70s, early 80s, it was, oh, come on, men don't cry, rub some
Yeah.
dirt on it. And there wasn't any healthy mechanisms to talk about like with these things. Like I like
Yeah.
like people, why did you love TV so much? Because Dr. Huxtable would actually talk to me. Granted,
Right.
now the reality of the person playing the character, but it was like those things were a guide for me, you
Yeah,
know?
that's one of the things now as a parent now, I try to be that emotional connection, to be able to have that relationship and be able for them to just come and talk to me about anything, you know what I mean? And have that open communication. And I think it really helps, man. I think it really truly helps because I look back again as what I didn't have. You know what I
Mm.
mean? I couldn't go sit down and really open up and tell my pops those things because he was old school, man. He was hard, just suck it up, dude. Like you said, throw some duct tape on that shit. Keep going, or it's like, but to be able to have those conversations that you can have openly and really express things that you're going through, and then you walk away feeling, okay, cool. You know what I mean? I can now attack this thing the right way. You know what I mean? I was giving good advice. I know he's got my back. I know he's looking out for the best in who I am and what I want to accomplish. So, let's attack this thing the right way. It's not, walk away from it. Well, that didn't do for me. Like now, well, now what?
Yeah.
Because the Ultimate Warrior, like, now, like TV, it's like, okay, the Ultimate Warrior would do this. It's like, to have those open conversations, man, they help. Even as an adult, bro. You know
Oh
what I
yeah.
mean? Even right now, I think it's so important to be able to have that that communication with someone. Those constructive conversations, man, can really, really help you. Like
Yeah.
really, like truly.
Oh, the community that you build. I mean, anyone that I talk to, new to recovery, whatever it is, hey, hit a meeting or whatever. Well, I don't believe in God and all these excuses. It's not about that. It's about you getting out of your own way and also connecting with people to find individuals who have what you want. And that's not a nefarious thing.
No.
Like, I mean, we went up and down roads together there a few times, and there was some really great conversations that there was a lot of people that helped plant a seed of positive things. Like, in my substance use, there was no vision of any future. It's just along to the next thing that fills the ego or pleasure. And when you can really talk with other men or women, whatever the situation may be, about these things, where you're at, what you're thinking, what you're feeling, and maybe something resonates or doesn't, and you get that dialogue going, I mean, that's real opportunity for growth,
It is, man.
Where you are now may not be where you came from. The choices you make today may spiral out of control or spin you in the right direction. Discover a riveting, true story of how Carlos Vieira nearly destroyed his life and lived to tell about it. Stand up, stand firm, believe, make it happen, and live through the madness. Knocking doors down along the way. And don't miss others telling their powerful stories on our podcast. Visit kddmediacompany.com.
It is just having those constructive conversations with another like-minded individual. It's like, wow, you're getting fed jewels of the game. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I didn't really look at it that way. Let me look at it that way. And then you do, and you realize, oh, that shit put me in a forward motion to where I'm not attacking who I am anymore, or thinking about the downfall of this. I'm actually just positively going in the right direction now. It's like, those are the conversations that help. And those are the things I try to surround myself with now. It's like, being around like-minded individuals, but being blessed to be able to sit at a table with like extremely successful people,
Yeah.
and they're giving you again jewels to the game, and you're able to just soak that in and take it and then apply it to your own life. It's kind of funny, man. I'm actually reading a book right now by Mel Robbins. She's a gangster, dude. She's dope. But her book is called, it's called The High Five. And it's like, and one of her biggest things is giving yourself, high fives in the morning. You know what I mean? How stupid and dumb that sounds, but it is like scientifically proven, man. They've done studies that looking at, because let's just fall back for a minute. When you wake up in the morning as a human or as someone that has responsibilities, the first thing you think about is like your schedule. Okay, I got to answer this email. I got to go to this. I got to work out. I got to do it. And you start just, as soon as you wake up, it's just like, not negative in a way, but it's just like, oh my God. And you start overwhelmed and then anxiety. And then all this just starts piling up before you even brush your teeth. You know what I mean? And it's like, okay, well, stop. And one of these things that she's, saying is that get up in the morning, look in the mirror before you do anything and just high five yourself. You know what I mean? And it's like, I'm reading the book and I'm like, I'm not going to sit here and high five myself. Like, but it is proven, man. It is proven. And now that I'm reading and getting deep into the book, it's like all the studies that they do behind it. It's like, it's crazy because you just high five yourself, you know what I mean? And just the encouragement behind it. And it's like you become your own encouraging, your own, that person that you need to, if you don't have it, to have the conversation that we're talking about and you don't have it and it's you. These are things that are scientifically proven that would help. Yeah. Just high five yourself in the morning, say, we got this, you know what I mean? Let's go. And I was just like, what? And then you read it and I'm reading it now and was proven because they had a group of kids. They had a group of kids and they were given, assignments, right? And they split them in 3. First group of kids was just told, good job, good job. Second group was told, man, you're really going after good, like, wow, you're really working hard. The third group of kids were just given high fives. Like, yeah, hell yeah, go, go, go. And through that study, the group that got the high fives were the most productive and the most, like they just excelled over the other 2 kids. And it's just like, man, how simple an action of just a high five could be. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that's what that's all someone really needs sometimes, man, when they're really going through the hard times in life, is just sit down and say, man, you got this shit, dude. Yeah. Like, go ahead, and it's like, when you really think about how simple of an action that is, but how much of an effect that has on someone, it's kind of like, man, how dare me think that was just so stupid to do? Like, wow, you could just so simple, 2 seconds, man, you got this shit, go. Yeah. Like, how can it affect someone? So I don't know, that book, if you're watching this, Mel Robbins, you're a beast. And it's called High Five. That book is awesome.
Well, and I think that's the thing that like people overcomplicate prosperity and growth and success, at least in my estimation, in that it's not easy, but it's simple. Like, and it comes with discomfort. And part of anything, I don't know what situations you've been through, but the reality of, like, so many of us that don't prosper is we're tied to a story we tell ourselves about ourselves. We are our number one. And so I can see why that you're
your worst critic.
Yeah. Going in the mirror, giving yourself the high five when we say 900 million terrible things about ourselves to ourselves all day, but we might say 10 nice things, it's part of that, I think, trying to establish a greater consciousness and self-awareness that it helps you grow. And I think the interesting thing about those kids going up, getting that high five from someone, is it does go to show, we're tribal creatures, humans, and contact is a part of that.
And I think too, man, it's one thing that we already spoke about, but it's very true. We are emotional creatures, man. When we have that reassurance, when we have that feeling of someone believes in us, like, it can really do wonders. I mean, it's done wonders for me. I've been very fortunate to be around people that have believed in me when I don't believe in myself. Like, you know what I mean? And to have that reassurance, to have that, man, go, dude, come on, man, you got this, dude. Like, you worked your ass off, do this. But in my own head, I'm like, damn, I didn't, I'm not good enough, or, whatever you continuously tell yourself. And it's just like, just to have that reassurance sometimes, I get it with my wife sometimes, she's like, oh, damn, sometimes I just need to hear you tell me you love me. That's all, like, goddamn, like, like, Yeah, you did my laundry, you cooked my food, all this, but just, sometimes I'm an emotional creature. Yeah, I look like this, but damn, I'm a big teddy bear. I need you to tell me.
Attest to this.
Yeah, I need you to tell me you love me, please.
Yeah.
And, again, just those simple words or just that simple action or, those things, it really has effect on people, man.
Especially those I mean, being married to someone no more intimate than you can be with another human being. And I think when you really get like good, effective, prosperous relationships of any nature, especially I see it with marriages, and I'm blessed with the woman that I'm with, that it's almost like she can tell.
Oh, brother.
And I'll get this text message like, "Hey, I see you working hard. I'm really proud of you. I'm proud to be with you, and I love you." And it's like, oh, that's what I need to hear today.
How did you know?
How did you know? How do they know?
It's like, it's awesome, man. Again, just to have that reassurance, especially from someone that you've been through the grind with, you know what I mean, that you're living life with, that's your partner. It goes a long way, man. Just to have, again, someone to believe in you, in the reassurance, unfortunately, not a lot of people have that. So that's why the book for me is just, it's literally changing my life, man, because you become that person that you need, and then in turn you become this positive, motivated, driven person. And it's really good, man. So it's like, I can see it from both worlds because I've been there. And then now I'm very fortunate that I'm in a position where I have my best friend and my partner, but I've been there for years, man, where it just, God, damn, like you don't have nobody, man. You know what I mean? And it's just, it sucks, dude. I'm grateful. I'm just grateful now.
Yeah. Well, it's one of the things that comes up in a lot of the conversations I have here, as well as in recovery meetings, and this idea of brokenness or incompleteness. And I think as much as we definitely need good, wonderful other people around us, we also, I think, need to have that perception that, like, once I got all the substances and out of my life, as well as people that I was negative to, they were negative to me, whatever, that flowed both ways. Let's be honest, that energy that flows both ways. I was able to see, like, I'm not incomplete. I am this.
What's that thing? It's a broken crayon can still color, man.
Yeah.
And that's it. But, having that, and again, I think truly that just comes through experiences again, right? Like what you said you were going through, but being able to what's the word I'm looking for? But just be able to just motivate yourself, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's good to have those other people, but sometimes you need to be able to motivate yourself, and get yourself going and have that self-love and self-encouragement that you can do yourself. Cause, going through recovery or whatever, man, I speak to, wrestling. I speak to, all my buddies, man. And it's a battle every day, dude. It is a fight every day. And, it's tough, man. And that's why I get, shout out to Myra. I think, what is it, 12 years she just passed?
4. Yeah, Myra Diaz Gomez that works with NWA. You'll see. Yeah. No, she just hit 4. I think she was a little bit. She's, as of this recording, she's coming up on 4 because she's a few months ahead of me.
Yes, that's just, and I see her too. It's just.
Well, Billy Corgan. I mean, I was supposed to actually, according to his record label, we were gonna do a Zoom sit down. It just didn't happen. But
Billy's awesome, man.
Yeah, I mean, you see these stories, but yeah, Myra. I mean, and I appreciate like these conversations too, because it goes to show, people can go back and put the link right here for Myra when she was on and learning about the childhood trauma she underwent that was very different than my trauma, that, and how these dynamics, they start to play out in our lives in just ways. And it goes to show nobody is above or below addiction and mental health issues reaching us.
No, absolutely not. And it's a trip how you hear different stories and everybody's journey is different, but in a way it's all intertwined, man. It's all, you're all facing and fighting the same. It's just, different ways and different things and experiences you go through. And yeah, shout out to her again. Like, damn, best author, all the she's done. And it's just like what she's doing now, yourself, what you're doing. It's like, those are little things, man, when you wake up and just say, damn, I wasn't even, you're not supposed to even be here. You know what I mean? Like, and now look at you, it's like, those are little things, man, that it's just, I think that it's hard because life is so fast paced that you got to learn how to slow down and just enjoy your flowers, and be like, damn, I'm doing it, man. Like this is all right.
Have you dug into the archives of past Knockin' Doors Down podcast episodes? The Knockin' Doors Down podcast archive is available to you for free. Check it out. Here's a snippet from when Charlie Sheen was on the podcast.
There's another thing to consider that's just practical and real and true and rampant. Fentanyl.
Yeah.
Fentanyl. You're walking around with street drugs these days. I mean, there's a 90% chance that it's going to have fentanyl. And there's a 90% chance you're not going to survive it.
This episode and so many more in the Knockin' Doors Down archive. And while you're at it, hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumb up, leave a comment, and share with somebody else that you know will get value out of the Knockin' Doors Down podcast. You're spot on. I struggle with that. Like, I've had a few instances of people like, man, you had so-and-so on, and Kat Von D and Charlie Sheen a couple times. Like, yeah, it didn't dawn on me.
Right.
Because I kind of fulfilled a promise to little me, that my mom, if I recollect, reminded me of when I played Little League. I was a pitcher. My nickname was Wild Thing. Ricky Vaughn was my favorite movie character. And she says, and I'll believe her because I was interested in acting even then, that I'm gonna be on camera or in a movie with him. Okay, it wasn't a movie, but and it's kind of reflecting like,
you were.
I got out of my own way. I started doing the next right thing. I'm still growing, still working on what discipline is to me, what my rituals and routines are, and all these things. But it's like, some promises kind of started getting fulfilled.
Yeah, it's a trip, man.
And it's weird.
I was actually talking about this yesterday. It's like and I'm guilty of it, still sitting in this seat in front of you, man. It's like, I'm trying really, really hard to be in the moment of things outside of, wrestling or training or, things, and being able to enjoy my family or enjoy the moments to where I'm not Kratos, you know what I mean? Or I'm able to enjoy life. And it's like, I was explaining this yesterday. It's hard for me to do because of the athlete of the professionalism in you, because it's like, okay, I'm sitting here eating this garbage plate of food, hanging around. I know my competition's not doing that, so it's like, I'm in my head so much I can't enjoy, just having a dinner with my kids, man. It's like, I'm in my head like, damn, I can't eat this shit. I got to go to the gym. I got this coming up. I got this. But it's like, now you got to just stop, man, and be able to just enjoy the fruits of your labor and understand that, it's all a journey, man. It's all a process. Everything's going to happen, and it's going to happen the way it's supposed to happen. And you're putting in the work. I'm training my ass off. I'm doing this. So allowing myself to just say, hey, you know what? Yeah, let's have that tea party, do those kind of things. So that's kind of what I'm kind of going through now, and why I'm saying I'm reading like the Mel Robbins books and all these other, it's just things that are trying to just change my gears a little bit to understand that it's okay to just chill for a minute, and just relax, because in a way it recharges me. You know what I mean? Like, okay, now I got to see my purpose, and my why is obviously my family. So it's like, okay, now I could go, now it's like, okay, yeah, that tea party was dope. Now Dad's got, stuff like that, it's like a recharge for me. So it's a process for me, man, but that's what I'm trying to do with myself now. It's like, just enjoy the moments, man.
Yeah. That being present is And I would think it's a challenge for everyone. I know for me, I could really relate to that. And I try to remember, I failed at it this morning. I was talking with my girlfriend before I got packed up and on the way, and here I am, she's talking to me, and I'm going, what? I'm sorry, baby. So I'm looking at the damn phone. Like the reality is we only get present moments when they're happening. They're fleeting otherwise, then they just become a memory. And as far as the future goes, I don't know about you, JR, but my book, after this page going on right now that's being written, is blank. So right. It's like I don't get to determine that. I don't know what's gonna come of anything.
Yes, it's a trip too, man. Again, again, I've been very, very blessed and fortunate to be able to sit at tables of people that are extremely successful. And it's like, yeah, we dive into, to questions about their journey and, what's this and that. But like one of my things I like to ask is just like, is there anything that you regret? Like, is there anything that you can change about the journey? Like, you're obviously super successful that, you did what you did. And they were all just saying more time, like just spending more time with the ones that they love. It's like, it's almost like, wow, then was it really all worth it, dude? Like, you know what I mean? Like, but I swear, man, every one of them always just said time, like just time, like, because it just goes by like this, man. Especially when you start getting rocking, you know what I mean? And things start happening, and things are going, your life is flowing. Next thing you know, just like you said, you realize, man, I had Charlie Sheen on here. Like, what the
or like we were talking before we hit record. I've known you so long. Your oldest child is now doing
I was
successful
like,
in the early 20s.
I was like, how old is she? Like, what?
Yeah. And I remember when we met, I don't even think she was categorized as a teenager yet. No. So it's, my kids were 3 and 4 or something like that. So it is that
goes by, man.
Yeah, my mentor Mike Diamond, he reminds me often. He'll go, no matter what, at the end of this all, it's you one-on-one with your maker. And if you were the most broke guy or the richest guy, you don't get to take anything with you, and you don't get to buy any more time. So one thing we cannot buy. And I don't know about you, the older I get, I have a don't waste my time attitude.
Absolutely. We're just talking about that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to do that, bro. Like, I'd rather be here. I'd rather be at home.
Yeah.
I'm not going to waste my time. Like, it all has to make sense, man. And the more older and the more experiences you get, and just the more savvy you get with just business and understanding how this all works, you're going to do things that make sense.
Yeah.
You're not going to waste your time.
Yeah.
Like, it all has to be calculated now, because I'm not 25 anymore. You know what I mean? I don't have time to waste, and things just need to make sense and be calculated. And that's where I'm at. Like, I'm not going to do it if it doesn't make sense, man.
We're not doing this for a hot dog and a handshake.
Yeah, absolutely not.
How much is like rituals and routines for you a part of your life? I mean, you are a focused guy. You do take care of yourself, and like, how does that play out for you? Like, even what does like a morning look like? Because I mean, you're, JR, you're not just doing professional wrestling. Watch people falling in the ring hurts. When a big 330-pound SOB runs into you when you're the commentator,
right?
It hurts. And you're doing bare knuckle as well. I mean, these like, it seems to me like, hey, if we're not on these rituals and routines, it's easy to have the slip up of focus.
Yeah, absolutely. That's kind of where it is. It's been that way for me for a long time. I just wake up, man, I try to wake up, again, think positively, have some cup of coffee, have my morning not just so fast paced, get up, all right, go, let's go. I try to just kind of ease my way into my day. And, I eat my breakfast, go to the gym, come home, take care of the kids, do what I have to do, diet throughout the whole day, do my training, the bare knuckle thing. Go to Uriah's gym out here in Sacramento with my coach Joey, train there, come back home, check in with them, grab my other stuff, go to the gym with the weights, do that, and then I come home, and it's just a routine, man, depending on the day, or what we're doing. But I try to get that same routine and keep that same process going, even when I'm traveling and on the road too. So it's basically just staying busy, man, and keep grinding, because I'm just that guy that just I'm never really content in what I want to do. You know what I mean? I always want more. I always want to be more successful. I want those things. But then again, it falls back to what we were talking about earlier, is just being able to try to find a balance and understand that, hey, I got my family over here too. It's not just all about, you and chasing your goals. You gotta be able to balance. And that's where I'm struggling, but trying to find it right now. And, my wife reassured me yesterday. She's like, you're doing okay. You got a good balance. But again, it's always like, yeah, you could do more. You know what I mean? I could do more. I see things but
I think that goes back to, we're both guys that played sports. So being coachable is so important, but it goes back to that wanting to challenge yourself too.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you've brought up the word success and successful people. Like, how do you kind of measure or think of success maybe now differently than you did, say, 10, 15 years ago? Because to me, it's a totally different picture than what I thought it was.
So obviously financial freedom is one of them. But in a roundabout way now, it's not that important to me, like, to be able to, show you that I got the Lamborghinis in the driveway, or the fat ass house, or, nothing. It's what I became through the journey and what characteristics made me who I am today, to me, is more important than being able to have a fat ass bank account, because you and I both know that there are some douchebag looking assholes that have bank accounts that are bigger than, I'll ever see. So to me, it's like financial freedom is obviously important, not only to be able to show, but for my kids and my family, like, to be able to give them something I didn't have. That's kind of like where my success is at. Okay, cool. We were able to buy our home. That's a huge thing for me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That was something I never thought I'd be able to do. Putting my daughter in, school, have my son go to school, my daughter's flight attendant, things are happening for them. And it's like, those are successes to me that I see. And also, going back to what I said, is the journey, throughout the journey, like the characteristics that are built in you to just be a good person, because you have to have a whole different thought process, man, in any kind of journey. It's going to change throughout this whole thing. And it's always been one of mine to just stay true to who I am, but to be humble and to be just true to who you are, and to me, it's all about becoming who you are through the journey. That's my success, is to be able to look back and say, wow, I still have roots to who I was, but I'm not that same person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of like kind of like the rapper that, I'm still 50 Cent, but I can still go back to my hood and be respected. You know what I mean? Because I never forgot where I came from. It's not like the money changed him or the journey changed him, and now he's just completely this asshole millionaire. It's just, you got to always keep it together, man. That's always been one of my big things, and how I can view success, I guess, is seeing my family and happy.
Yeah. Well, I think, and you said something in there that really stuck out with me too. When people talk a lot about, knowing who you are, I know there's a lot of confusion, and we're sold a lot of stuff, and there's people that do a really great job of faking it on social media. You know who you are, putting it out there.
Right.
Hey, I'm just being honest. I'm still nuts up here. Okay. It's just, I just don't imbibe any sort of chemicals that make it worse.
What is that saying? Damn it, what is it? Be who, or try not to be who you supposed to be, or be who you. I can't remember it right now. I'm butchering this. Go ahead.
But I think that in the easiest way I've been able to really quantify knowing who you are is if you don't know what your values are, you're lost. Like,
Absolutely.
I know that, some circumstances in your childhood and how it is. And as long as I've known you, the one thing like, if somebody asked me, oh, JR, the first thing I'd say about it, yeah, he's an awesome dad and fun.
Thank you, man.
Because that was one of the things I always took from our friendships that you may not remember some of our conversations, but that was something I really started to examine over the last 3 years. Like, I don't even know what my values are. No wonder I don't know who I am. I don't know what matters to me most, what I care about. Because if you have those values, that's how you go represent yourself.
That's it. So one of the things I speak really, really highly, and I always try to just shove it down because it changed me, is to just truly find your purpose. You know what I mean? Like, I said it before and I always say it, like, so many kids now, I have time to talk to them, or they come up to me and it's like, man, I want to get this bag. Jay, I want to get this bag. Kratos, how do I get this bag? Okay, cool. Yeah. Again, financial freedom is great. But why? Like, what's your purpose? What's the reason? What's going to get you that bag? Are you going to step outside of who you really are to get it?
Yeah.
Or are you going to be who you are and your purpose is going to get you that financial freedom? And they're just like, oh. It's like you ask that question and it's like, again, where we're talking about kids, before we got on camera, it's like your purpose, like who you are as a person, like really go within yourself and say what you want outside of life, or what do I want to be?
Yeah.
And these are things that, they can change through the journey again, but it's always just, you got to find out who you are and truly know that, because once you do, again, you know what I mean? Like, I've been very fortunate to be where I am in my career, but I can say I never lost, or I never did things I wasn't supposed to do. I never did anything wrong. I did it my way. Granted, it's going to take me longer. So what? I know who I am. And I know when I get there, I never switched up. I always stayed true, always did the right thing, always did what I had to do. And I worked my ass off the right way because of my purpose. My purpose is my family, my life, the people I love. That's what keeps me going when I'm in my head like, man, I don't want to do this. Oh, damn, baby needs new shoes. The baby, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
things, it's that's my purpose, man. That's what keeps me driving. And I don't know, man, that's just, you got to really, truly, and it takes time, it takes experiences. It takes things that you got to go through. But when you truly know who you are, man, I think it's like a magic power that you have, like a superhero. Like, it just, you can do whatever you want to do. You can truly do whatever you want to do once you really, truly know who you are.
Yeah.
And
I think the beautiful thing is to let some of that stuff unfold. I know you, and we're both big Ultimate Warrior fans.
Yeah.
On the wrestling,
you like too? Yeah, man. All right, that's enough.
Yeah. But it's interesting how the inspirations that can come into our life and plant those thoughts of, ooh, I could go after that. Granted, you were an interesting kid. I never knew that about you. Never told me that. I saw the mountain. I can run up that thing. I'm gonna be bigger than the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think as life, enjoy I was just talking with a neat lady on the podcast here, Betsy Frost, and she was talking about finding joy in the ambiguity of it all, meaning that, like, we don't know how so much is going to unfold. And I don't want people to miss what you just said, which was beautiful, is that, yes, I mean, hey, I got a DVR show that I see your face pretty much every week, and I'm proud of you. But that's cool that kid part of you achieved that, but that's not necessarily your purpose. Your purpose is that because you've achieved that, now you can go and not only be an awesome husband, father, but these kids that come up and go, wow, but like, I know our stupid mindset when we were young, right? If I get that car or that girl or this thing, like, life is going to be fulfilled. And it's like, no. And so through the achievements has offered you the purpose of what you bring to your family, your community, young people that might reach out looking at you, to you as a mentor, which a good choice on them.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? It's like that's where I think people sleep on purpose.
Yeah.
Like my
And
purpose
again,
is, hey, you know, is this conversation going to help one person? Sweet, there you go.
yeah. I mean, that's huge because hopefully it will. But again, that's like your visions or it's lost sometimes on what success is. You know what I mean? And it's not always about the girls, the cars, you know, the bank accounts. It's, you know, what can you do with the success you've had? What is your gift to people? What is your gift to the ones you love? What are you able to do for the people you care about? Like, you know, can you put yourself in a position to make an impact on someone's life? You know, and that's always been my thing as a wrestler. You know, it's funny. Like I remember being asked this when I laced up my broke ass Asics that were actually given to me when I first started wrestling because I didn't have money to buy my own. I said I wanted to be an inspiration. I want to inspire someone, you know, not to be a wrestler. I just want to inspire them to just chase what they want to chase. You know, like that's it. If it's to be a wrestler, great. Doctor, lawyer, actor, writer, author, whatever, you know, to just be able to just step on the gas and go full steam and just go for what you want to become. And honestly, you know, and just what everybody else says, because so many people are going to throw so many negative things at you because they can't do it or they're afraid to do it. You know what I mean? Or they don't see any value in it. You know, your vision is your vision and it was given to you for a reason. So go get it, man. Like go be that person that is inside you for a reason, you know, and that I really believe that those things are given to you to be able to give to someone else. You know, I read a lot and I do a lot of personal development, like Denzel Washington always says, you know, it's a gift. You know, your talent is a gift, you know, not only to you and the ones you love, but to be able to spread that, you know what I mean? And do things with it. And it's kind of like what I hope to be. And, you know, but again, it's all purpose. It's all being able to understand who you are, that no matter what anybody says, okay, that's your opinion, bro. Good.
Yeah.
High five.
Yeah.
It's not going to knock me off my, you know, it's like,
and I think those are those beautiful things too, that, you know, it's like, I don't know when my last podcast is. I don't know, you know, X, Y, and Z. And so I think that's the importance to come back full circle when we were talking about being in the moment of why it is, because, you know, your daughter is absolutely adorable. I'm glad to finally meet her. And, you know, you talk about the tea party. Guess what? I don't get the tea parties anymore. You know, these things,
right.
they're gone. Like now,
like Dad, do you want to hang out? No, Dad.
Yeah, I was the other day. I'm out front doing some yard work, and our park in my community is right across from my house. I'm like, damn, did I enjoy it enough that last time that, hey, Dad, will you push me on the swing? I was like, shit.
Were you in your head like, I'm tired, I don't want to go to the park? Like,
and I think it was that.
Yeah, no, I'm guilty of it too, man.
Yeah.
You know, my boy, like, Dad, can we play catch? But yeah, when it's, you don't want to just take those moments for granted, man. You gotta, moments in time, man. They're just, no one can take that away from you. You know what I mean? Because it was your time. You were there. And it's, so many people lose sight of that and stay tunneled on one thing, and which is good. It's not good, but it's good to be driven and motivated, right? But you need to be able to navigate and understand. Don't be so tunneled that you're losing track of the people that support you and love you, that once you get to the top, you're looking around and you're like, you're by yourself, bro. You know what I mean? Like that saying, it's lonely at the top. There's a lot of people that are lonely at the top because of that fact. They didn't stop and enjoy the moments. They didn't stop and thank the people that love them, or be able to gift the ones that, you know, support them the whole way. It's like that saying is true, man. It's lonely at the top for a lot of people. And I think it's one of those reasons, you know, bad decisions and just being selfish, you know?
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, I've been in meetings with some very financially successful people that are like, thank you guys. You're the only people I had to talk to. And it's like, dude, you're a head of a company that has like 2,000 employees. And then it's like, you have a sidebar with someone like that. And it's like, yeah, I mean, what am I going to go into my boardroom and go, oh, my kids won't talk to me. My ex-wife wants to take me back to court. I'm miserable being here, but I'm responsible for 2,000 people, so I have to put me aside. Like, yeah,
Yeah, it's just
they literally got no one.
how many people just burn it or just whatever the case may be in their life. It's like, damn. I was just with I don't want to say the company's name, but I was just with an owner of a huge company, man, huge. And I was in his home, and it's a huge ass home, dude. It's a condo, but it's huge. It's like 8,500 square feet. Like it's ridiculous. And it's just him. It's like, okay, cool. Like this is fucking ridiculous, but damn it. I know you have to sit here sometimes. Like, damn, I wish I could share this with somebody.
Yeah.
You know, like, damn, I wish there was someone here with me watching TV. You know, like I don't understand. Like that has to hit you at some point, dude. Like that, like you walk into this big house by yourself, and you have no one to talk to, yell at. You know, like I don't know, man. I see that sometimes, and it's like, yeah, you're extremely successful, and it's like, wow, I would love to have all this, but I wouldn't want to have it alone.
Yeah.
You know, like
I don't know that you can call.
Is this a home or is this a house?
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Is this really a home or just a fancy filled up condo? Like, yeah, man.
Well, hey, we'll get some wrestling talk maybe at the end here, but let's jump into some random questions. All right?
Let's do it, bro. Shoot.
All right. You could have dinner with any one person, living or not. Who are they?
Ooh, living or not.
Yes.
Muhammad Ali.
Why?
Because of his promos? No. Just the way his life, again, his journey, the way he stayed true to who he was no matter what. And he had a hell of a resume with women. No, you're gonna get shot. We're at my house. No, just he stayed true to who he was, the things he's accomplished. I would love to sit down with him and just have that conversation. And like, what was your thought process in all of that, bro? You know what I mean? Like I would have in all his elements, if like I would have a ton of questions. Like, what was your like, dude, you're fighting George Foreman. Like, how the hell, what was that? Like, was that all you had to be scared, right? You know what I mean? Or just things when, you know, the war, you know, or how he just racism, all that. Like he stayed true to who he was the whole time, man. And I admire the hell out of that. And on top of that, he was able to succeed or be successful in what he wanted to do. And he was the best in the world. So,
yeah. And it goes to show mindset too. It's I got a deal up on the wall of him. He said, I told myself that I was the greatest before I knew I was. Yeah. And it goes to show that high five.
Yeah.
It's that high five, man.
It is. And he carried himself that way too.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And that was, you know, some people saw it as arrogance or whatever, but outside of that, he was a good dude, bro. Yeah. Like I've read a ton on, and he was just, you know, he was a character. You know? But, he was a good dude, and he just always projected himself and conveyed that I've been here before when he hasn't, you know, and I'm the champ. I'm already the champ. You know, when he was hitting the drums, you know, against like the champ's here, like you already lost, bro. And it's just like, wow, dude, like that shit's tight.
I'm gonna get you, Frazier.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that. And it was. I was listening to, ironically, Eric Bischoff's podcast, old episode on the way up here, and he
speaking of characters,
yeah, oh yeah. Well, I had him on here. It was a blast. Like people were like, "How is that?" I was like, "Dude, I got to talk to a guy that when I was a teenager, I dreamed about working for." Pretty cool. Not a wrestler, people. I know what I'm built like. But it was interesting because he was kind of talking about that and his experience with Ali and just the kind of person and stuff that he was. And there, you know, again, values.
That's it.
Values. All right. Another fun random question here. You are stranded on a deserted island. You can have one movie, one book, and one music artist's greatest hits. What are they?
Yeah. Okay. One more time.
One movie,
One movie,
one book,
one book.
one music artist greatest hits.
Movie would be Rocky 4. Book actually be the one I'm reading now. Mel Robbins, High Five. Out of all my favorite books, just I'm only like in chapter 3, and it's like blowing my mind already. And Tupac. It's greatest hits. Rocky and Tupac and Mel Robbins, baby. Let's go.
There you go. I'm getting off this island.
Yeah.
Best advice and worst advice you ever received.
Best advice, chase your purpose. That really stuck with me. Chase purpose, don't chase money. And worst advice, don't ever change. Probably mine. Yeah.
I like that.
Purpose and don't ever change.
No. Change all the you want and for the better.
That's it.
Every damn day.
That's what we were talking about earlier, man. The journey will throw things at you that not necessarily you can look at as change, but it's just building different characteristics in you. But by the time you get to that end, you have changed, but it's all for the better. You know what I mean? So,
yeah. If you could say anything to your younger self, what would it be?
Oh man, make me get emotional.
Oh yeah, when we think of ourselves as a little boy, I know.
Stay believing in yourself, no matter what.
Yeah,
believe in the dreams that you have. I got a story about that. Matter of fact, I was in the 4th grade, and I actually wrote on my paper in the 4th grade. It was what our aspirations were. I can't remember what exactly we were doing, but I remember this vividly. I wrote, I want to be the biggest and best professional wrestler in the world. And I'll never forget, I'm going to put her on blast. It's Miss Weems from my 4th grade teacher. She read that and she said, JR, now let's be realistic. And I'm like, what? Like, that is real. I'm going to do that. Like, what are you talking about? Like, but again, to her and to other people, it's like,
yeah,
let's be realistic here. That's not going to happen. Like, look where we're at. It's like, but yeah, so that would be mine to myself with, no matter what, believe in you.
I love that.
Yeah.
And we need those people. Don't sleep on those people that come through and say those things, because that's when it's that unmotivated to hear that person saying that. I had a Mr. Anderson. He was the 2nd grade one. And he was the worst. Call me everything short of calling me stupid, because I dyslexic, had a reading thing. And he said, you might want to do something like drive truck like your dad, because your reading and speaking is not so good.
Well, think where we're at right now. You should have him on this podcast. I'll come jump him.
I believe he's passed. And I'm working on my book. So, yeah.
That's awesome, man. Those things, man. It's just what those things do to you as a kid, and you remember now and where you're going through now. It's like, damn, you're right. It's kind of need those, and it's like you realize and you remember, like, yeah, I was realistic. That was, I did everything I was going to do, no matter what. So
yeah. Well, we're going to have some bonus content talking just wrestling for the YouTube channel. We'll say that over there. But I'd like you to, a lot of people watch this, and the ones that reach out is usually them or a loved one is struggling. If you just had any words in closing that you would want to lend to those people.
Be your own cheerleader, man. Give yourself the love that maybe you seek from others, that you may not have. Be that for yourself. I know that is extremely easier said than done, but simple as what we were talking about is just doing something so dumb, looking in the mirror and just giving yourself a high five, even if it's day one in the recovery or day one of what you're going through, whatever. you're here, you made it. Give yourself that high five, be your cheerleader, because you do not know what that will do for you in so many ways positively, that how dumb that will be and impact you. Is just be your own cheerleader no matter what, because as you and I have spoken through this now, and just as life and everyone watching this, and you have so many people that are not in your corner, so be the person in your corner, and self-love, man. Just be your cheerleader no matter what.
Absolutely. If you guys want more on JR, I got the links in the podcast description there. My brother, I'm glad we did this.
Man, me too, bro. Thank you. Seriously.
Yes.
Truly, thank you.
Remember, no outside solutions to inside problems, and keep knocking doors down.